tryna be like nobody else. No, I ain't tryna be like nobody else. No, I ain't tryna be like nobody else. Cause I'm having too much fun tryna be myself. No, I'm not the type of chick that like to follow trends. I got a small circle, no, don't need a lot of friends. You know I gotta get this money cause I like to spend. I see you haters watching, so I just give you a grin. Hey, hey. I just wanted to start it off a little lighthearted. It's your girl Loud Down coming through with another Kid content video. Trying to stay consistent. Yes, that was hard to say 3 times, but I did it. I got it done. Hope y'all doing good. I'm doing pretty good. I have nothing really negative to talk about. No, I do have something negative about how I'm feeling about something. When I say I have nothing negative to talk about, I mean like I have no bad news to report as of right now. As of right now, everything is going not necessarily according to plan, but I'm able to adapt and overcome. So we'll just say that. Stay tuned for more news about that. Moving on. Something I wanted to hit on really quick. I'm not going to keep y'all too long. This video is not going to be that long tonight. I wanted to talk a little bit about the Black Lives Matter movement. The reason I wanted to talk about that is because I have an issue with how that's becoming like the same thing with, when people were wearing like the little gold pieces and like their braids, and they were kind of like bringing back the old schools. The same thing when Air Forces come back out. Well, Air Forces are out for a lot of people. A lot of people still wear them. I can honestly say I've never personally had a pair of Air Forces, and I probably honestly never will have a pair of Air Forces. It's just not my sneaker. I'm not really into sneakers like that. If I do, I usually probably have some type of Nikes. I like Nikes. Yeah. But moving on from that, I just feel like the Black Lives Matter movement is becoming, or has became, like a trend. It's kind of like dying down a little bit in the media. People are still definitely protesting and things like that, but I just feel like, once Joe Biden got elected, it kind of like died down, things calmed down. People feel like there's a little bit more hope, but I feel like, the pressure should still be applied the exact same manner. Protesting should still be going on because we still all do not have the same equal rights as everyone else. So I personally feel like they need to not let up, because that's what I feel is happening. Or maybe news media is just not covering it as much. So I don't really know what's going on, but I hate when things like this, especially when it's involving things like our rights and us having equality, I hate when it becomes like a trend versus something that you actually want to do, versus something that you really believe in. It's just like, okay, this is the right thing to do at this time. Even with like celebrities, like, I was watching a King of Reeves video, and he was just talking about when the pandemic first started, and he was talking about Beyonce and how, she did the little I think she did like some type of message that she did. She was talking. You could tell she was reading a teleprompter. And it's just like, everybody does things to sell something. I don't feel like it's really sincere when it comes from a lot of celebrities. It's just... And then now I just feel like that's trickling down even with, they're regular people too, but you know what I mean? Like people that are not like, millionaires. It's just trickling down. People are just doing it just to be doing it. And that's like something that's really bothersome to me, and it's bothersome, period, because if you're not going to be serious, how do you expect somebody to take you seriously if you're only doing something when that's what's relevant at the moment? And then as soon as it's not relevant anymore, it's like, okay, so now let's move on to something else. It's like, it's frustrating, it's annoying, and I just heard something about the COVID, where they had like a little commercial, and they were saying like, basically, obviously, which we predicted, that you weren't going to be able to send like your kids to school, if they didn't have the vaccine and stuff like that. And that's already another form in my eyes of like taking away your rights, because it's just like, you can't force someone to get a vaccine. I don't really feel like that's forcing. I just feel like that's kind of forcing you to step up and say like, hey, maybe I'll homeschool my child, because that's what I'm personally leaning towards, because I don't plan on getting my child a vaccine. I don't plan on getting the vaccine unless I absolutely positively, and I mean positively, have to. If I can do anything to avoid it, I definitely will. Not that I'm afraid of getting it, it's just I've never even had a flu vaccine. So not a vaccine, flu shot, whatever, it's the same thing. So I just feel like that's another thing that's been bothering me with this COVID situation, and how they're trying to like, implement certain other things based on this COVID. Like, they're using that to implement other certain things. So that's something that's really bothersome to me. I just wanted to talk about that because the thing with waves, if you want to call it that, trends, it's just like, they pass over and then we're kind of like moving on to something else. And I just feel like that's what's happening with the Black Lives Matter, kind of with the social media, how they have their way of putting certain messages out there. It's the news media, they lie. And that's another thing. When COVID first started, everybody was running around like chickens with their head cut off. I personally never like panicked. I never was like, oh my God, like, I don't know what I'm going to do. The only time I felt like real depression about it was when, the lockdown came into play and, we had to actually stay in the house. It was just, that was kind of frustrating. But beyond that, I was never like, oh my God, like terrified of catching COVID. A lot of the stuff that they were telling us to do was things that we've been doing or should have been doing prior to them telling us about it. So it was just kind of like, okay, them now telling us, hey, make sure you take a shower every day. It's like, okay, you're supposed to be doing that anyway. So make sure you brush your teeth. It's like, all right, you're supposed to be doing that as well. So that's kind of how I really felt when COVID first came out. Obviously, I see that it is serious. I don't take it lightly. But at the same time, I'm not going to let that control me and who I am and how I'm going to react to things. I'm going to abide by the law of wearing, the mask when they ask me to wear a mask and things like that. But beyond that, I'm not taking it any steps further. I'm going to continue to do the same things that I've been doing. I've been washing my hands. I'm not going to say I've been using sanitizer, but I do use it more often now. It's just, beyond that, what else are we really talking about here? I don't go out unless I actually have to, which if you want to keep a place to stay, you kind of have to go out to work. So, that's just something that you're just going to have to do. Yeah, so I wanted to hit on that COVID situation because that's something that's been bothering me actually for a while, but I never really got the chance to sit down and actually talk about it or discuss it. Then with the Black Lives Matter, I wanted to discuss that because I didn't get a chance, same situation, to discuss it, but I had some time tonight. My son is being good and he's sleeping, so, I had some time to actually, make this video and talk to you guys a little bit about my feelings on that, wanting to know how you guys feel. You can comment, make sure you like, subscribe, share the video, do all those things, and I definitely appreciate the people that do watch and that do care about anything that I have to talk about, because you don't have to. Even if it's a few people, I really appreciate it because, like I said, there can be no one that could care about anything that you say. So I really appreciate any love or any type of support that I get because I don't receive it often. So trust me, I'm very, very, very appreciative. Tonight I was watching Real Housewives. No, not Real Housewives. Married to Medicine, which I don't normally watch. I usually just watch like the commentators talk about the show, but I don't normally watch that show. And like the girl on there, I think her name Dr. Heavenly, has said something about like, oh, like one of her comebacks about somebody was like, oh, you're not a mom, you're not a wife. And it's like, why do we have to put ourselves as women as that's all that we can be, is a mother or a wife? Some people don't want to be either. Well, excuse me, let me be clear. Some women don't want to be either. So it's not fair to put females in that box of, oh, you have to have a child before you leave this earth, or you have to be married before you leave this earth. That's not everyone's path. Everyone, listen to me clearly. Stop trying to make your path someone else's path. Everybody doesn't want to go the same way. That's why traffic goes different ways, because everybody's not going the same way. I just don't understand people that are always trying to force their lifestyle or their opinions onto you. It's no. Everyone, learn the difference between opinion and fact, okay? It is an opinion that women should bear children and be mothers and be wives. That's an opinion. That is not a fact. That is not something that needs to happen in order for you to feel like you're a whole human being. So I just want to make that clear to everyone. You don't have to do either one, and you'll still be just as much as a woman as people that are wives and that are mothers. I just want to make that clear to everyone, those of you. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was like a mouthful, because I was like sitting on that for a while, because it really bothers me when people really try to make their feelings your feelings. Like, I don't have to feel the same way that you feel, and that doesn't make me a bad person because I don't feel the way that you feel. I'm entitled to have my feelings. I'm entitled to have my opinions just like you are. That's one thing. I don't judge, and no one should judge anyone for the way that they're feeling about something. That's their right to feel that way. You have a right to not like that they feel that way, just like they have a right to not give a damn. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody has their little rights that they have. Just respect other people, their space. Don't be judgmental, and just watch your circle. My main lesson really is just don't do anything unless it really means something to you. Don't be just following a trend. Don't be following the wave. Make sure anything that you're doing means something that matters to you and that you have a real attachment to it. Otherwise, it's pointless, it's useless. And after a while, the true reason of why you're doing whatever it is that you're doing is going to come out anyway. Everything that's in the dark always comes to the light. I don't care what it is. So just don't forget that. And like I said, like, subscribe, share, comment, do whatever you got to do. And I'll see you guys in the next video.